Hey guys, welcome back to the Development Tank. Pumped for today. Before we get into it, I've got something to give everyone. It's our $20,000 masterclass and it's free over on the Little Fish Network. So please jump in. Only takes a couple of seconds. See the link below in the comments. It's pinned there. Only takes a couple of seconds. Jump in and you can thank me later. And Claire's back into the projects, into the floor plans. We're talking about knowing your marketplace. So knowing who your buyer is going to be. Do your research, do your due diligence in that area and design for them. So she's going to look into that. Pumped for that. Guru Gav's back. We've got a site. We bought it a little bit ago, but we're going to teach you the lessons. What did we look for? What appealed to us? And what were we able to navigate and see past to be able to get this amazing site that's stacking up really well? Let's get into it, guys. All right, let's get into it, guys. Welcome back, Gav, fresh off the Melbourne Property Expo.
Yes, mate, it's good to be back. We had fun weekend down at the Melbourne Property Expo.
100%. So a couple of weeks ago, we were down there. We got a booth and, really filled out the network, which was super amazing. And now that thing is off and pumping. So, pumped and very enjoyable.
It was busy down there. A lot of property enthusiasts, people for different walks of life that have different sort of, goals in property.
Yep.
But almost everyone we spoke to had an interest in development, whether existing or whether, something that sort of sparked their interest and wanted to learn more.
Yeah, 100%. And we're booked in for Sydney and Queensland. So watch this space, guys, for people up in those states on the eastern seaboard there. We're coming to you. But, pumped, Gav. We've got a good site that we bought a while ago now, but it had some prickly items to it that would be good to unpack and show the team out there how we're navigating it.
Yeah, that's right. Look, we've done quite a few side-by-sides. We've done a couple of corner sites, good corner sites as well. Today I thought we'd just touch on one that's a true front-to-back. Typically, they're not the top of our list, particularly if it's a three-site, a common driveway. You just don't get as much value out of the land, and as far as a yield goes. In this case, we're looking at over 1,000 square meters, and we've managed to get 4 on the site. Yeah.
So let's dive into it, Gav. Why did this one pique our interest, and why is this one working for us?
Look, it's in our favourite council area, Banyule. But look, we do look up that way. There are good opportunities. Very, very difficult to find sites that have trees on them. They love their trees. And in this case, is an example where it's only 40% coverage allowable for your footprint. So it can be restricting. But again, we've got here over 1,000 square meters.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, you nailed it. There's a lot of undulation out there. There's a lot of fall on the sites. Trees are a big one, so it is a very sort of leafy part of the world, which makes it quite nice out there, don't get me wrong. But as a property developer, sometimes it can scare you away. But also the 40%, which is predominantly the site coverage requirement there in Banyule, which can make it hard. But you've made this one work.
Yeah, look, let's dive into Landchecker and have a bit of a look around. So we've got our site here. First things first, let's just sort of get an idea where we are, zooming out. We're at 12 kilometres from the city. We're following up the parklands through here. As you were saying, it's quite a nice green, leafy area. We've got a train station here. We'll just get our dimension up here. So train station.
Oh, hello. Down the hill, 700 metres.
700 metres away. We've got our primary school just up here to the north, only 500 metres away. And then over here, it's Viewbank Secondary School, I believe it is. It's a public school, but it's very highly regarded.
I do hear about it.
Yeah.
It is on the pointy end of the public school list, Gav.
Yeah, very much so, and surprisingly so. You probably don't, or probably haven't heard of it much, but it's right up near the pointy end.
Yeah, for sure. So ticking boxes from an amenity point of view, transport, schooling, that sort of stuff. What else were we looking at, Gav, that got us over the line with this one?
Yeah, look, it's the town centre, obviously just down the road here as well. And then over to the east, or southeast if you like, this is all parklands all through here.
Yeah, amazing.
As well. So, plenty of facilities for sports and for family, really. One other thing as well, we did notice, of course, here you've got two pretty busy roads.
Yeah.
So we initially were probably, look, it's worth a look. So we did go down there and we walked the site. Now, keep in mind, if I just go into the topography here, looking at this, it's actually at the top of a hill.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. But we've gone down there, we've stood on the corner, we've come around here a bit, and we've looked up the road. And the day we were there, this is in August 22, but I do remember it was a wet Melbourne day, and it wasn't raining at the time, but there was a lot of water on the road, so it's about as noisy as it's going to get.
Yeah.
As an example, and we sort of felt that it wasn't too bad. There's a couple of big dwellings here, a couple of big buildings, big double-story buildings just in here and there. That sort of blocked out quite a bit of the road noise. There's also, I think a community centre or something just on the corner here as well.
Yeah, I think it was a daycare centre or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
I agree as well, Gav. We stood there and stood there on the road. Obviously, if you're in the dwellings, you'll be in the backyards or probably under a little bit more cover. But it was, it passed the test, I suppose.
Yeah. On probably a bad day.
Yeah, spot on. Great point.
Also, keep in mind here, because of the community centre here, there was parking, like timed parking on the street here, which we just needed to talk to our town planner about. Just make sure that there wasn't limitations there that might impact our parking on the site, or might impact the design at all by the amount of bedrooms that we were hoping to get onto these dwellings. But we got the all clear. I'll just give you a quick rundown on the details here. So 1,040 square metres. It says here 20 metres frontage. I reckon it's 19 something. Here we go. No, it's 17 and 17 and a half metres wide, if you like.
Yep.
So I think that's probably where you want to be. You wouldn't want to be too much less than that when you're doing a front to back design.
When you're foregoing, you're sort of circa 5 metres even just for your driveway. I think it's important. And if you just zoom out a bit, I love the idea of these type of sites. If you are tackling them, I think it's great to get your driveway on that south side, have your living spaces and your private open spaces coming off that driveway to your north. So there you go. A progress shot. Amazing. This one is under construction, but one we wanted to talk about all the same, and one we will circle back with Claire and talk about floor plans and interior design and that sort of thing. But as you can see there, you've got your driveway going along the south, and then you've got your private open spaces and your living areas facing north there, which is spot on.
Yeah. So another thing we also recognised when we were down there, it does have a power pole here, and initially, the very first stage, we were sort of thinking maybe we'd have a second driveway come in through here and have a private driveway for the front house, but just to try and maybe get a bit more living area in the buildings behind. But as it turns out, it just wasn't worth moving the power pole for that, because in the end, look, I think the feasibility, we were targeting around 18 squares each. Yeah. And what I can tell you is that the front and the rear ones are close to 19 and a half.
Yeah.
And
bigger.
The centre ones were 18. So we ended up getting bigger dwellings on than we first forecast. And we only needed to worry about the one driveway and didn't have to relocate the power pole.
Yeah, correct, which was a tick. And as you can see, there are double garages there as well, which is a win, which you wouldn't have got the double garage in the front as well. Great, Gav. So there you go, 1,000 square metre site that is a front to back. As you can see, they are quite, if you zoom in a bit, Gav, the unit 1 and 2 detached, 2 and 3 detached as well. Then I think the garages are attached on units and townhouses 3 and 4. So to have standalone dwellings there, I think is a really good selling point. They can breathe. There's a bit of space between them.
The back one's 4-bed, and the front 3 are 3-bedders.
Spot on.
But not tight 3-bedders. They're really comfortable. There's heaps of space.
Yeah, no, 100%. So we will circle back to these, but we'll plant the Feeso episode in first, guys. So Gav, good site, flat in an area that's not usually flat, no trees in an area that's usually got trees, and big enough that we can still deal with the 40% site coverage. So do you want to take us to your world famous feasibility?
All right, back into the feasibility study now. Now, one thing I should point out here as well is for those people who do get onto the network and sign up and get the master the Townhouse Masterclass for free. All of our documents are in there as well, Excel spreadsheets, including the feasibility calculator. So it's a version of this one. It's probably 95% of the functionality that the one I use has. Very, very similar, but that's in there for free.
Yeah, amazing. Do yourself a favour.
Okay, so let's jump into the Feaso. This particular feasibility is done when we get to the build stage of the project. So obviously we do one at the start. Then I just do a quick revision when we purchase the site. So that's got the actual purchase number in it.
Yeah.
And then we sit on that. And then when we get to the construction phase, I'll redo the feasibility. And it's not just adding in the construction price, but also just checking all the other boxes and resales as well. So in this example, this is at the construction phase. So
I think, and also, Gav, I'll just touch on that. It's really important that feasos aren't just done at the start. They're monitored throughout the process. So as you're tracking costs, soft costs, town planning, design, your arborist, whoever it may be, whilst you're tracking all those costs, make sure you are updating your feasibility. Your build contract stage is a really big milestone. So has that gone up? Has that been more than you expected? Or was it a bit lower than expected? Or were you on the money? And your resales as well. Holding costs, all these sorts of things are super important to keep your finger on the pulse and make sure you're following along with your feasibility. So yeah, great work from you, Gav.
All right, so where we are now, we didn't touch on it before, but we managed to pick up the site for 1,341, so 1.34 mil. We got it, I think it was a 120-day settlement and a 10% deposit, I think it was. So a good deal. It wasn't on the market, but they had an offer on it and it came to us.
Yeah.
And they weren't happy with the settlement that was offered, and we got into the conversation and managed to pull it off, which was great. So your planning costs are a bit higher. You've got 4 dwellings, so there's more interior design, more in your construction drawings as well. So the PM fee, as per normal, 8% of the build cost. In this case here, open space contribution, so 3 or more dwellings. We've just got it at 5% of the purchase price at this stage. Now the build contracts come in at around 2.1, something like that. So we'll probably be about 100, maybe 150 grand over where the feasibility originally was 2 years ago. Yeah. So as we all know in this industry, it's shot up quite a bit. So
it did move during that time. Yeah, no question.
Yeah, so we've managed to actually keep a lid on it in this case, which has been great. Just through value engineering and the team working closely with the builder to keep it in a reasonable rate. We got a sewer extension there that's come up that we had to do from the connection point.
Yeah.
Then we've got a contingency. We do have some holding costs here, about 130 grand, but my understanding is that the investors are going to be paying for this in cash.
Yeah, I think these investors in particular have all agreed to pay for it in cash. So from a return on investment standpoint, it dials those numbers a little bit, internal rate of return. But as far as money back in their pocket, I believe they're looking to maximise that. So that holding cost will go to their bottom line.
Yep, great position to be in. But in this case, with this feasibility, it's included. So moving down through, we've got our resales here ranging from around 1,175 to about 1,350.
Yes.
1,350 for your 4 beds at the back, and then you probably get a little bit more for the townhouse on the front with the street sort of appeal, if you like. Great project, coming back at about 600,000 in net profit. You could easily add that extra 130 in interest in there if you like, so you're probably well over $700,000 in net profit and about 15% ROI.
Yeah, nice. No, good project, Gav, and good to dial into one that had a front-to-back scenario there, and the common drive and that sort of stuff, because obviously we do them, we do entertain them. The ones that we've shown you guys here on the Dev Tank have been a bit more side-by-side and corner side, so good to see the fun that comes with them, and we will get Claire back here in Project Snapshot to show you the floor plans and get you guys up to date on the design and the construction updates. So yeah, pumped for that. But thanks for that, Gav.
No problem at all. Great site.
Awesome. All right, guys. Claire's back. Super pumped. Head of projects for Little Fish. Cracking little project here in the heart of Little Fish country in sunny Carnegie, our Gilbert Street project. Thanks for coming back, Claire.
Thanks for having me again.
What are we going to learn today?
Today, we're going to focus in on doing your research and knowing your market at the design concept stage.
Yeah, love it. So we've bought the site, we've done the due diligence, we've got a bit of an idea on things, but you guys are dialing right into the floor plans and going, who is our buyer going to be? Because super important for these townhouses, because as we know, not often you can have everything. So you need to sometimes forego that for that, rob Peter to pay Paul. So if you're doing that, who are you doing it for?
Exactly. So, and we always talk, I feel like we talk a lot here about you don't need to have everything done. The interiors we can talk about, but you need your main spaces sorted. And like you just said, who are those spaces for? Who's going to be using them? You can't cater for everyone. You don't have enough space.
Yeah, correct. So figure out who it is and lean into that. Yeah, love it. So you guys sent a brief off to the designer.
Correct.
Usual plan. We get our initial concept back, and then we look to work it and dial it, see what we didn't get, see what we want to get, and then go on that process. So take us on the journey from the initial floor plan and how the team worked through it.
So initial brief we sent across, which was our 4-bedroom, 2-3 bathroom, depending on layout, large live-in and kitchen spaces with a pantry, a double garage for one, and potentially single and a bit more. But again, that was what we wanted to hit. How that was going to be arranged, we weren't sure.
So yeah, perfect. And I think it's super important that you do let the designers design as well. You know, like you can't get to a point where you got your butcher's paper out and going, hey, Mr. Designer, this is what I want. It's about giving them a brief, giving them an overview and seeing how they interpret the site. And like you said, double garage, single garage, this site has got nice frontage, and we are in Glen Ira where you can try and get the boundary to boundary happening. So that's where the advantage is there. But I think letting your designer design, bring it back, and then massage it from there.
Yeah, I'm laughing because we've all been there. We've all put the butcher's paper there and we've tried to be the designer. I've quickly learned that you're better off taking the problem to the designer and going, not super happy with this area, don't have the solution, but I'll leave it with you, because that's what they do for one, but also you're never going to do it as well as they do it.
Yeah, correct. And you know what? If you've got an idea in your head about how it should be done, don't tell them that. Be the old last to speak and actually get their opinion on how the space should be arranged. If you still don't like it, then get the butcher's paper out if you need. But I think it's good to get all the opinions. And if you put your thoughts across first, sometimes you don't get that unbiased opinion.
Yeah, exactly. They do exactly what you ask, but you don't know what could have been.
Correct. Yep, spot on. So what have we got, Claire? What did we get sent back first?
Okay, let's dive into the floor plan. So 28.5, just over 29 squares, one of each. We've achieved great sizes. And from a snapshot on ground floor, everything from what I said on that brief, we got the double garage, the little bit bigger than single. We got pantry spaces for both. We got kitchen, living, meals, great area for townhouses. We've got the 4th bedroom downstairs. Let's quickly duck upstairs. Again, we've got our great masters up the top. We've got our second livings and then our secondary bedroom. So we have ticked the brief exactly what we asked.
I think, yeah, for me, ticks all the boxes.
And it looks great.
All the boxes. Living, meals, kitchens, big enough. Patio, backyards are great on this site, which we're anticipating we would get, but awesome to see them. Double garage, great. Standalone laundry, powder, study as you walk in. Entry's okay. Looks good on face value for mine.
Do you know what? If we continued in this motion, it's still a good product. I guess and the whole purpose of this episode is that we sat down as a team. We spoke to our agent. We spoke to everyone downstairs and we said, who are we actually selling to and what do they want?
Spot on. And I think what drove that, by the sounds of it, was challenging a few things and going, hey, are you happy with the laundry? No direct access outside. Are you happy with quite long and what would probably be dark hallways? Hard to sort of get the natural light in there. These sorts of things. How do we make these? And like we say it a bit in here. How do we make these more feel like homes? How does someone walk in and get that wow factor rather than walking in to another townhouse?
Every time we get these designs, if we can change, my biggest thing that I love to change is the bowling alley. down the middle. If you open up the door and you can almost see a long corridor straight to a meals, it's one thing. You can't always change it because we have constraints, but if we can, we love to. And like you just said, we challenged. That's exactly what we did. We said laundry, there's no access outside. Can we fit that behind the bedroom and push it out? No, we can't because we're at site coverage. Things like that. Potentially we even looked at going to a single garage. Can we do that and put that back into our spaces in here? All those things we questioned. Even the master on ground, nice to have a second master, but again, this is probably the point at which we said, who is actually buying this product in Carnegie?
Yeah, spot on. I think when you're looking for space in these ground floor plans, and you have a master, the space you're looking for is in and around that master, I feel like, because it's a bedroom, it's enclosed, there's an ensuite that takes up a bit of room. Sometimes there's a walk-in robe. There isn't in this occasion. But a downstairs master does clog it up and makes it hard to open up that bowling alley, as you call it. So I think that's essentially where we challenged, and when we went deeper and spoke to trusted agents and that sort of thing, and something that we know and something that we definitely understand in this area, because this is where we do things. But the fact that the buyer will unlikely be a downsizer was really pivotal in taking us from our first concept set of drawings to our second concept drawings, which, being around that circa $2 million townhouse, is it a downsizer, 28 squares, 4-bed, 2 living? No. And based on all the other townhouses we've sold around that belt, around that sort of probably 10 to 15 kilometres from the CBD, it is not. He's going to be someone maybe with young kids, older kids, primary school, secondary school, or even people a bit older than that, but not your full downsizers that require the bed downstairs. So based on that information, we then went to work to challenge things.
And that's exactly it. So young family, let's call it. Like you said, old or younger kids, but laundry isn't big enough. We're not going to utilise that master how a downsizer would. Do we need that ensuite there? So all of a sudden you start to question these spaces that are giving you space back to play with your floor plan.
And just to make this more of a house, more livable, and essentially just more epic overall, and create those moments and create something that people fall in love with. And I think and I can hear people on the other end going, okay, cool, we're going to a 3-bedder. Well, that's where we stick at a 4-bedder, put the 4 beds upstairs, forego the retreat upstairs, which when you're talking about families and that sort of stuff, the feedback we get from buyers is often kids will want to be close to the action. They'll either be playing in their rooms or they'll be playing close to their parents, which will maybe be another living downstairs. So yeah, excited to see the new plans and sort of where we got to with this new information.
Okay, here we are, Peter.
Yeah, amazing, and a little bit more detail there as well. But instantly you can see how much more light-filled these spaces are going to be. Do you want to take us through it?
And one thing I didn't touch on, so front to back, west to east, so north at the top of the page. That's one thing that was also discussed is, can we get a bit more light into both of these dwellings? Again, that goes back to the removing the bowling alley, trying to create these genuine homes rather than long townhouses.
Yeah.
So just a quick snapshot at this, even with just the lines on the page, you can tell you've got an interesting house, not such a long, narrow tunnel. So what we've done is, and again, we're at very early concept stage here. So we're currently the designer is doing the town planning set. So keep in mind there'll be future internal tweaks. Say to the front, for example, there might be some efficiencies there, but generally we have got our 90%. We've kept the double garage, so we're excited to see how that goes. We've kept the other single, and then what we've done is, instead of, if you can remember, we had that master, right? So straight away we've got rid of the ensuite and the pantry that were sort of on top of each other, that lived around this internal courtyard. And it means that we've been able to fit in this laundry behind the garage, a really big family friendly laundry, access from the garage, access outside, ticking all the boxes from the preferred laundry.
Yeah, big tick.
Then we've got our second living downstairs. So this is quite a big second living too, but automatically what this does is, yes, you've still got your hallway at the start, which is lovely, but then it comes to this open space. We'll have glass here, we'll have an internal courtyard externally, but internally for the floor plan with greenery. So this automatically, you're walking in feeling luxury, not a townhouse. This is a big home.
Yeah, correct, 100%. And, you know, the different townhouses we've walked in to, big bowling alley versus having an area that is light filled, not too deep into the property, I think makes an amazing difference. And, you know, to be able to take these floor plans from something that ticked the boxes to, again, something that ticks the boxes, just a different layout, walking into those dwellings, it's a totally different experience from a buyer's perspective.
Completely different feel, and we will work through this as the process goes on. But say in this line here between the second living into your kitchen area, we'll do a complete flush cavity slider door that will shut that off. So automatically you've got two zones. You've got your front entrance zone, and you've also got this back, and they're completely separated. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, love the idea of that. Storage is in your garage too, which fantastic. There'll be no sheds out the back. Powder, amazing. You know, study's great to open into and have that bit of space when you walk in. And then your kitchen, meals, living is, you know, fine. Pantry, ticking all the boxes.
All the right sizes. We've got a sort of a changing wall here. It looks a little bit funny on plan. I get this questioned often, but once it's built, what it creates is it feels like it's its own meals area. What I really don't like to see is when you open a door and you can see where you're sitting to have your meals. So automatically this L-shaped or U-shaped, I should say, once we have glass, greenery out here, if you're sitting there potentially with a circle meals, that is its own space, and you'll feel like you're in your own space. You can't see the front door. You're sort of separated almost, although the living is right here, you're separated by that change in wall direction.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think it definitely helps with your zones, and even outside, you know, when you're trying to put your services in wherever they might be with those little dog legs and that sort of stuff, it does allow you to create spaces and little alcoves where you can put these services. If you've just got one straight line, you know, it means that these services are coming off the wall, but you know, the meals looks like it's been thought of internally with the dog leg, and then externally, your placement of your services looks like it's been thought of because of the reverse of that dog leg. Yeah.
Okay. So generally, we're happy overall with the footprint. Like I said, a few efficiencies we might make at the front, again in the pantry and the kitchen, but that's all to do with the interiors.
Yeah, amazing. So downstairs is feeling really great. What have we had to forego anything upstairs?
Okay, upstairs. So one thing I will say is when you're putting your 4 bedrooms upstairs, what you want to try and avoid when doing that is walking up the stairs and hitting a bedroom door or hitting a powder room door or a bathroom door. So one of our requests was, can we fit a study nook or study area or a landing zone at the top of the stairs? So achieve that quite well. So when we come up, this will be a half-height wall. We'll have a half-height study wall. Naturally, this area that I'm playing with here, that will feel almost like you're walking into the retreat space that we had previously.
Yeah, correct. So you haven't had to forego, you know, you haven't gone from one bowling alley to another. You haven't sort of, you know, that issue we had downstairs, we've sort of fixed that upstairs. And I guess upstairs, and we haven't got to this part in the drawings yet, but I can just see a couple of skylights there potentially that will then wash light down into your ground floor space, but that study, open study and sort of stairwell area does look quite inviting, and by the look of it, we've picked up a home office. So
yeah, exactly, which is great, which means the study downstairs, which won't probably ever be used for a study, can be your entrance foyer.
Yeah, correct.
So
yeah,
really big win.
Yeah, really like it. Bedroom sizes look great. Storage looks great. Master looks really appealing. Natural light into the walk-in robe there. Some storage and some linen zones. Ticking all the boxes for mine.
It's really great, actually. And I sound surprised, but I think we've really challenged this one based on our market and who we want to achieve and who we want to sell to, I suppose. And I'm really happy with the overall design and layout.
Yeah, 100%. I think the lessons there are doing your due diligence, make sure you're speaking to the right people. And ultimately, with these designs, you can't be everything to everyone. So, maybe set out to do that at the start for sure. And we've got some other projects that we have been able to achieve everything I would have thought and not forego, a dark sort of ground floor and uninteresting downstairs as well. But on this one, I think, kudos to the team to be able to essentially tick all the boxes. It's still got exactly everything we had, except we've added a home office here. But essentially, families that have small kids or middle-aged kids to be all upstairs and have all that tucked away upstairs, I think is a great positive. And downstairs is traditionally where people will show off their properties and show off their homes. So when you walk in, when you have buyers walk into that product and feel those feels, I think amazingly important that they do feel something when they go in there. There are some moments, as Beck likes to call them, inside those ground floor areas.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing let's also touch on, the orientation. So we're obviously not blessed with full north living orientation. I think it's really important to note, which I'll just duck down to the first floor, it's hard to see at this level of drawing because it all looks like black lines and looks heavy. But what we've done here by putting these open sitting rooms on ground floor, we have allowed all this to be open, which naturally flows to the upstairs. Here we'll have skylights, which will then flow downstairs. So all of a sudden your south unit, which is down the page, has an opportunity to get light all the way through into their ground floor. Otherwise, having a master on ground, you obviously can't have that void space from top to bottom, but all of a sudden, yes, these courtyards will help, but naturally we can get a light from above all the way down to this area, which we wouldn't have been able to do previously.
Yeah, 100%. And it won't take long. Take a few steps into the dwelling and suddenly you're feeling that natural light even in the south unit. So yeah, super pumped with these and really excited as they progress and get submitted into town planning, interior designs, and to see them evolve, because this is definitely one that we challenged it, and I think we definitely won for our clients on this one. So yeah, great work.
Great site too. We've been able to really maximise every area.
Yeah, for sure. Great frontage. Glen Ira's fun because you can go boundary to boundary and maximise those aspects. I think, to have a double garage and tick all the other boxes that we've just mentioned is a big win, and I think they're going to go really well. I think they're going to stand out.
Yeah, I'm really excited. They look great. So well done to you and Gav for the site.
Yeah, happy to help. Awesome. Thanks for the insights, Claire. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me again.
Thanks, guys. Anyone that's going to get value out of that, please get into it. And remember, free townhouse masterclass worth $20,000. We sold it for $20,000. Now we're giving it to you for free. It's pinned in the comments. Jump in. Takes a couple of seconds. You'll thank me later. Happy developing.